Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. This is your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, number West County, New York. And yes, I'm still here in South Carolina. Shout out to the chat. I've been here in this area of South Carolina since 2017. But I've been in South Carolina this time since 2014. So I've been here for quite a while. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I am the BT 1000, the only original BT 1000 in this whole sector. I was part of Civilization for 8 years. Shout out to the chat. As you can see, the title of this video is in Spanish. But I'm going to teach you what it means. I'm going to teach you what I'm saying. Embusteria. Embusteria means deceit. A pack of lies, a bunch of lies. Embusteria. Embusteria means deceit. Tonteria means bullshit. And as we go further down, you will see I'm saying what I'm saying. And I'm going to talk about Susan Smith in this video. I'm going to talk about Susan Smith. My name is Arabia Barbosa. I'm going to tell to my audience about Susan Smith. I want to thank all my subscribers, my support team, those that come over and visit with me. Shout out to you. Those that are not here, please catch the playback. Like and share the video, please. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to talk about Susan Smith in this video. And I'm going to tell you guys, when I did my time here in South Carolina, I was convicted of a robbery charge in 1995. They convicted me. I was sent to go to the receiving unit in Columbia, South Carolina. Shout out to the chat. I was 22 years old when I went. That was my first time encountering or running into Susan Smith. That was my first time encountering and running into Susan Smith. Shout out to the chat. I did my time. I did 6 years, 7 months. No parole, no probation. Shout out to the chat. Captain Rowe is full of shit. He's full of caca. The man is lying. He might not be lying about him being on the sex registry and not being able to get a job, but the man was carrying on a sexual relationship with Susan Smith. Shout out to the chat. I met Susan Smith in 1995. I was shipped to the Women's Center. That's a prison on Broad River Road in Columbia, South Carolina. We was in the holding cell. When they finished showering us and out the holding cell, to be walked down to the receiving unit. But before they took us, Susan Smith came to that back door. Susan Smith propositioned different women that was in that group with me, propositioned all of us. And I asked her, I said, how the fuck are you running around on this compound? Because when she first got there, 5 black women chased her down and beat her on the compound grounds. Shout out to the chat. All 5 of the black women were placed on lockup. All 5 of those black women remained on lockup for assaulting Susan Smith. Captain Rowe and all the administration at the women at that time was interested in protecting Susan Smith. Shout out to the chat. The man is full of caca. I'm going to play you something. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, I'm talking about Susan Smith, the child killer, the woman that killed her 2 sons. She killed them because she wanted to be in a relationship with a man that was not interested in having an already made family. Shout out to the chat. That's real. And I'm going to tell you something else about her that I remember about her. Because they shipped me to Leith Correction. Leith Correctional Institute is in Greenwood, South Carolina. I did most of my time over there. So there was some kind of security difficulties with me being at Leith. Me and another female got into a heated argument over another female. That particular female went to the administration, signed separation papers. So they sent me back to the Women's Center. Shout out to the chat. And that's when I encountered Susan Smith once again. Everyone on the compound treated her like she was a plague. They did not associate with her, not upright, not up front. No one ever approached her because the administration and the security, the correctional officers were protecting Susan Smith. This is what the news don't tell you. This is what certain stories don't tell you. But I ran across a video, and it's not on YouTube. It's on Tubi. The name of the video is called Susan Smith, Sex Behind Bars. And Captain Rowe is basically saying he only slept with her once. He said no one knew about their relationship. The whole compound knew that he was fucking with Susan Smith. The whole compound knew that Susan Smith was having sexual relations with another correctional officer. Susan Smith was very busy. He said that the reason why she did what she did because she wanted to get transferred to Leith Correctional. That's not true. She had everything going for her at the Women's Center. Everything. And let me tell you something else. There's a whole bunch of men on the outside in the so-called free world that are participating in writing this woman and sending this woman money. This woman makes more money in 1 week than what I make in a month. Shout out to the chat. She's making that money. The society doesn't care if she killed her children. She is celebrated. A lot of people don't know the darkness, the dark side of the correctional institute industry. They don't know the dark side of media. They don't. I do. She went up for parole not too long ago. She was denied parole. Shout out to the chat. But we're going to play something real quick, you guys. I want you to hear it. I want you to hear it. I want you to hear this video. This last one I did, I was able to capture Oh Lord, I hope I can get it for you guys. Hold on. I was able to capture some of what he said. I don't usually do reaction videos. I don't do reaction, but this really made me mad because I understood even during that time that even though she committed the crime she committed, she killed her two young sons. Society doesn't give a fuck. And let me tell you something else. This woman is making plenty of money. No, she did not make parole a few months ago. No, she didn't. But she will go up for parole again soon. If it's not this year, it'll be next year. Because she is a convicted violent offender, a murderer that killed her two children. And according to them, she participates and destroying people's lives. Let me tell you something. Susan Smith is like she's like a lone island in there. She might be at least correctional, but I know that woman is still making her money. I know that she has men writing to her. I know that she is celebrated in certain circles. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You think with P. Diddy being locked up, you think people are still not celebrating him? You think R. Kelly being locked up doesn't stop him from being a celebrity? Susan Smith is a different type of celebrity. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I hope I can get this video up here, you guys. Oh, here it go. I hope you guys can hear it. Let me put it close where you guys can hear. Inch of water. This is something I haven't told anyone, but there is a memorial there, and I thought about driving up there to see the memorial. Rowe received his sentence for the crime and has paid his debt to society. I got sentenced to 5 years of probation, 400 hours of community service, and registry on the sex offenders registry for my conviction of having sex with Susan Smith. As a convicted prison guard. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Now you just heard me playing the audio, so I'm gonna do my reaction about Captain Rowe. Captain Rowe is full of shit. He knew the consequences of him sleeping with Susan Smith. After those two were found out, and I'm gonna tell you the only reason why they found out Susan Smith was having sexual relations with any type of male is because she ended up with an STD. She had to go to medical to get it treated. They knew she didn't catch it being with a woman. Inside, they knew it had to been an outsider. So they did their investigation. Susan Smith sat on the lockup unit for over a year. Yes, they shipped her to Leith Correction, but I'm telling you guys, she is being celebrated. Society doesn't turn their back on people like Susan Smith. They don't. That's a bunch of tonteria. It's a bunch of Embusteria. Embusteria. Tonteria, there's a bunch of it going on. You think that when certain people get locked up and they are celebrated, they are recognized because their name was in the newspaper. Okay? These people are not being punished. They are getting mad money. She's getting mad money right now. As I speak, she's getting mad money. She's pulling it in. She don't have to work a job. She could be sitting right there on the SMU unit, which she's not. She's sitting on one of the maximum security buildings over there at Leith Correction. Shout out to the chat. She has certain privileges that a lot of you don't know anything about. And let me tell you something else. I remember about her. I remember when we was all at the Women's Center. There was one particular evening that the yard looked like it was never going to close. I remember the yard opening that 5 o'clock in the afternoon. All the inmates came out of their cottages. We were all spending time with our girlfriends, playing cards, dominoes, smoking our cigarettes, drinking mocha drinks, drinking coffee. That yard stayed open to 10:30 that evening. We all came out the next morning to go to breakfast. Not too long after that, Susan Smith went to lockup for having sex with Captain Rowe and the other correctional officer. After Susan Smith, certain prison authorities wanted to do a large bust, a large sting, where they were investigating all the prisons. All the female institutions were being investigated. And plenty of people went down for having sex with inmates. Those that were accused, tried, and convicted, they're all registered sex offenders now. They're all registered sex offenders now. Shout out to the chat. Good morning, Tamika. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't watching my chat, but thank you for coming in, Tamika. Thank you for coming in, VA. Good morning. Shout out to the chat. I appreciate you for coming in. Good morning. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm going to keep this video up, but I want y'all to know what I know about Susan Smith and how the system works. What really happens to certain inmates before they even come into the system, into the correctional facility. If you are celebrated, trust me, you will be a celebrity until the day. I'm here in the house, my apartment, thinking about going to work on Monday, thinking about how much money I'm going to make and how it doesn't compare to what Susan Smith is getting ready to make at the end of this week, because she got slews and slews and slews of men sending her letters and paper, money. Susan Smith got more money in her inmate account than what I got in my bank account. Shout out to the chat. And that's the honest God truth. Shout out to the chat. She's getting paid for being an asshole. She's getting paid for being street trash. Trust me, people are celebrating her right now. She is a celebrity. She might not be like Kwame Brown or Gilbert Arenas, but in some cases, she's a celebrity. Excuse me. Shout out to the chat. Excuse me. This is something that is going on. We look at Ted Bundy when he was in prison, how many of the women were writing him, how many of the women were sending him money, supporting him before he went to get executed for his crimes. I'm sure Charles Manson, the same thing. I'm sure the son of Sam, the same thing. Anyone that had a large profile case before they went into the prison system, they're making money right now. If they're living, they're making money. People are captivated by these people. Captivated. Shout out to the chat. I'm not the only one out here that's going to tell what they know about Susan Smith. I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. But I'm going to make it known that Captain Rowe is a liar, and Captain Rowe knew what the fuck he was doing when he got with that girl. He knew what the fuck he was fucking doing. Captain Rowe is full of shit. He knows it, and I know it. Yeah, I'm not going to be up here that long. But I just wanted to come through real quick and give my thoughts and do a reaction, because this is not a reaction, a channel. This channel does not do reaction videos, but I had to do a reaction video to this thing. It's called Susan Smith, Sex Behind Bars, and you can find this video on Tubi. They play movies, TV shows, different things dealing with that form of entertainment. You know what I mean? So this video is really for educational purposes. You know what I mean? I'm doing it to educate people so people will be aware. Maybe I'm talking too fucking much, because I remember a couple of years when Susan Smith, she actually did have a girlfriend. Her girlfriend name was Ronnie. Ronnie got out of prison years ago and went to she went to one of those magazines where they do all that gossip. I forget the name of the magazine, but they were very popular. Anyway, she got out. She gave them her account, her story about Susan Smith. Don't you know, a week later the woman ended up dead for talking about Susan Smith? Now, they said that Ronnie went out there and got high on that heroin. She got on that dog food and ended up having an OD. But there's some people said there was more to the story than that. Because I had two different girlfriends when I was locked up at the Women's Center. One was Marisol and the other one was Nora. And both of these women talked about Susan Smith in certain ways I didn't think that other inmates really did. They both talked about her in a certain way, a certain light. And both of those women I just mentioned, trust me, if they wanted something and they didn't have the money, they made sure they got in touch with Susan Smith because they knew that she had it. Oh, yes, there were some women in there like that. They needed money. They didn't have certain funds in their little accounts. So what they would do, they would strike up a deal with Susan Smith. And they couldn't approach her. You had to send a kite. You had to write down on a piece of paper what you wanted from her. Kites were being sent once a week over there. From cottage 6 to cottage 4, because Susan Smith lived on cottage 4. So people from cottage 6, cottage 1, and cottage 2 dealt with Susan Smith behind the scenes. Shout out to the chat. It is always dealing with something, with some kind of pills or some kind of knitting project, because Susan Smith crocheted, she needlepoint, she knitted. There were certain things that she needed help with, and those women would get together with her and help her out, and guess what? She would pay them. She would make sure money from her account got transferred to them. I believe she's still doing that to this day. And she doesn't deal with you unless she can use you. Okay? And that's reality. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. This is your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa. I hope everyone has an awesome weekend. Like and share the video. Let's get the message out. Let's get the likes up. For some of these videos I do, let's get the likes up, please. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here.